Strength is absolute justice. Demons who held that belief stepped into bloody battles with each other. Such rules continued for many years, until 520 years ago, when a new history began. One of the dominating forces crushed the demons. There appeared a demon king who unified the world, the strongest demon king in history. He was the legendary demon king, Hiram Sama. Until 20 years after conquering the world, the demon king must now face the demon god who rules the demons. While sitting on his throne, the demon king was questioned by the demon god why the demon king would not follow his orders to give the demon god 100 lifeblood every day. For Hiram San, the demon god's order was completely unacceptable. The demon king got up from his throne while pointing a middle finger at the demon god, saying that all the land and meat that was there belonged to Hiram San, because gods should remain in the realm of gods, not in this world. The angry god immediately blasphemed the demon king and cursed his death. The majesty of the demon god swept across the country, until his anger made the demon god's spiritual body change into his enormous physical form. While looking at Hiram San, who was very arrogant and also arrogant, the demon god threatened Hiram San, who had dared to challenge him, and would make Hiram San return to his original place. The battle between the demon king and the demon god began. The power of the two is very powerful. Even the great magic of the demon king and the clash of the majesty of the demon god were truly absurd. The fierce battle lasted for 3 days and 3 nights until finally the demon king was able to make the demon god turn into ashes. The defeat was the most humiliating defeat for the demon god. While staring at the corpse of the god, the demon king Hiram San said that with the demon god's descent and embodiment to earth was already the reason for the demon god's defeat. Even the god had lost when changing his physical form at that time. The demon king Hiram San was very confident of his victory. But the demon god, who slowly disappeared, laughed and blasphemed about the foolishness of the demon king, who was too arrogant by saying that the demons would not be able to win against the demon god who ruled them. After hearing the demon god's words, instantly the demon king Hiram San's body slowly began to crack and disintegrate. Hiram San panicked and was confused by what happened to his body, then asked the demon god about what the demon god had done to him. The demon god, who was now reawakened with a giant scary physical body, laughed and said that so far, the demon god had never thought that he would impose punishment on the creatures on this planet. Hiram San still didn't understand about the god's punishment. Of course, this was all part of the duties of a demon god who governed demons. So of course the demon god held power over the life and death of the demon king. The demon god then returned to blaspheming the king, who was now slowly beginning to disintegrate and disappear into grains of ash. The demon god, who had finished his business, then went to the sky and returned to his place of origin. Shortly after the battle and Hiram San's death, a portal in the shape of a large arched doorway appeared near the ashes of Hiram San's corpse. At that instant, a small demon cried out from the doorway and ran up to Hiram San's ashes, which were no longer in the shape of Hiram San's skull. The little demon bowed down and touched the demon lord's robe with broken tears and continued to call Hiram San's name the same. The little demon seemed to have truly lost the figure of the king Hiram San. A long time had passed since the death of the demon king Hiram San. There was a place that was a month's walk from the demon king's castle and 2 months sailing across the ocean. The place was an old and dark building where there was a bright white stone with 12 sides, each side of which had ancient carved runes. At that time, in a silent, still, quiet, and dark condition, the white stone slowly emitted a glowing light and then opened by itself and opened a magic circle that expanded more and more, until suddenly, from the circle of light slowly emerged, and a mysterious child was born. The little baby began to cry, its hair instantly growing jet black. It turned out that the baby was the reincarnation of the demon king Hiram San. Before his defeat against the demon god, Hiram San had prepared a reincarnation ritual because Hiram San opposed the demon god with the sole purpose of winning. However, what Hiram San was fighting was a demon god, so Hiram San had thought about his defeat. Although Hiram San is now reincarnated, his soul and mind still survive in his new body. It is also related to his magic, which also survives because it is related to Hiram San's own mind. In other words, when Hiram San reincarnated, only his body was reborn along with his brain and mind and thinking capacity. But integrating the soul and mind into the new brain and body also had the risk of causing chaos within them. Hiram-san's body slowly developed and grew into the form of an adolescent human phase. While in this phase, Hiram-san could have starved to death. Then a bright speck of light appeared, and Hiram-san touched it. It turned out to be a part of his magic called growth acceleration, which caused his body to continue to grow and develop rapidly. But this magic was accompanied by extreme pain. It even felt like every bone in her body was being smashed to pieces. Hiram-san didn't even expect it to be that painful. Now Hiram-san began to get up and took the clothes that Hiram-san had prepared before his reincarnation. It turned out that the place was also the place that Hiram-san had built in his previous life for the sake of her reincarnation. Hiram-san had also protected the place by using strong magic, and only Hiram-san had access to enter the place. After putting on her clothes completely, Hiram-san was now still curious about how much time had passed during his reincarnation, because previously Hiram-san had set a time of about 10 years in his reincarnation. But Hiram-san was really doubtful about his 10-year reincarnation, because reincarnation magic is not a trivial magic. Hiram-san then ran to the door and began to touch the door. Hiram-san realized that until now the seal hadn't been broken either. So Hiram-san could see how much time had passed during this time. When Hiram-san saw it, Hiram-san was surprised and did not expect that the time Hiram-san passed in this reincarnation process was 500 years. This seems to be related to the process that was forced to change Hiram-san's race to human, so when he reincarnated, his magic formula became chaotic. When fighting the demon god, Hiram-san had already realized that the demon god's divine punishment could instantly kill Hiram-san if Hiram-san was a demon. So that's why, when Hiram-san realized it just before death, Hiram-san changed his magic formulation. Hiram-san took that step because Hiram-san knew that among the various races, there was a race that did not have divine protection. They were the weakest race, the human race that not only developed very slowly, without divine protection, their lifespan was also very short compared to the other races. For example, a divine protection can provide a large amount of mana, and with that much mana, one's lifespan will be slower compared to others. So, extending one's lifespan without divine protection and with little mana, humans would die from growing old before they gained strength. But in exchange, humans have great talent and growth potential. So for that reason, Hiram-san felt that this decision was optimal because Hiram-san also had great combat experience, a hardened soul, and a flow of magic. For all those reasons, Hiram-san chose to reincarnate into the human race and would become extremely powerful. But Hiram-san could not yet prove that fact with anything concrete about it. After all, even now Hiram-san didn't have horns, which meant that Hiram-san had really succeeded in becoming a human. Hiram-san now felt very excited about his new human body. In fact, it didn't feel so bad that it made Hiram-san even more curious about the power of his new body, and wanted to test what Hiram-san had become after 500 years and being born as a human. Holding the power in his palm, Hiram-san was even more determined to kill the demon god. When Hiram-san was about to open the door seal, the door suddenly opened itself before Hiram-san could do so. It turned out that someone opened the seal from the outside. When the door opened, Hiram-san was shocked by what Hiram-san saw outside the door. When Hiram-san opened the seal door, a very beautiful elf girl was surprised and asked Hiram-san about what Hiram-san was doing in a place like this. Then the elf girl warned Hiram-san about the danger in the mountain, which was a big dragon that was sleeping. So if Hiram-san continued in that place, Hiram-san could die because it was too dangerous. Hiram-san then looked at her in surprise and asked about who the elf girl was, then introduced herself as Hiram-san. The girl smiled with a beautiful face and said her name was Lumiel, who was there to find and defeat the big sleeping dragon. Suddenly the bracelet on Lumiel-chan's hand rang. It turns out that the bracelet is like a transmission device that connects Lumiel-chan with someone. Then they have a conversation in the transmission. After ending the transmission, Lumiel-chan immediately said goodbye to Hiram-san and saying that Lumiel-chan had urgent business before defeating the dragon. Then told Hiram-san to leave the mountain or wait for her to come back to pick up Hiram-san after finishing her business. Hiram-san said that Hiram-san could take care of herself, and Lumiel-chan shouldn't worry about her. Lumiel-chan immediately took off running and warned Hiram not to go up the mountain. Hiram waved his hand and thought that the elf girl was very excited. After Lumiel-chan left her, Hiram-san now became interested in the dragon that Lumiel-chan mentioned earlier, and was curious whether it was an ordinary dragon or an ancient dragon. Hiram then walked through the forest towards the mountain. Previously, when Hiram was looking for clues from the top of the mountain, Hiram felt a strong magic power like the power of a top dragon or an ancient dragon. Judging from the strength of the amount of magic Hiram sensed, that dragon was probably one of the strongest ancient dragons. Hiram continued to comb the forest until at that moment, Hiram found a cave with a very large door opening. Hiram thought, because Hiram had reincarnated as a human, so his body was not used to magic. So the best way to bring out and practice his magic was to fight. Hiram San now into a large cave that was very dark and scary. Until the moment Hiram San saw a very large dragon tail. Then Hiram San apologized for disturbing the dragon's time because Hiram San wanted the dragon to be a measure of his strength, or wanted to oppose the dragon to fight. The giant dragon woke up and roared at Hiram San's babble. Then quickly the dragon stared and gathered a ball of fire in its mouth, immediately spitting the fire at Hiram San. But with the power of his defense magic, Hiram San managed to deflect the deadly fire attack with his shield. Even when the dragon attacked with its claws, Hiram San was able to withstand one of its giant sharp nails using only one hand. The dragon seemed to get more and more annoyed and angry, and then immediately attacked again with a burst of fire from its mouth. But many times, Hiram managed to avoid the dragon's attacks. The dragon was really blindly destroying part of the cave because of its attack. But it had not yet hit Hiram, who was very fast and agile. Until when the dragon opened its mouth, Hiram entered into it and grasped the teeth of the monster dragon and lifted it very easily. When the dragon's body was lifted above Hiram San's head, Hiram San immediately threw and slammed the giant dragon's body into the cave wall to make the dragon unable to move. Hiram immediately ran and stepped on the dragon's head. Hiram felt that the effect of the body enchantment was stronger than his body in his previous life. So, reincarnating into a human was not too bad, and was the right choice for Hiram San. The huge dragon got up again and intended to attack Hiram San. But Hiram San managed to dodge and jumped and directed his magic towards the dragon, who seemed to want to fight again. The magic power was so great that it hit the dragon's body to the ground. The dragon really felt desperate and bowed to Hiram and said that a human as strong as Hiram San had defeated him. So the dragon invited Hiram San to boil and cook the dragon's body, as Hiram San pleased. Hiram smiled and told the dragon to raise his face. Even Hiram didn't expect the dragon to be able to talk to humans. In a cute tone, the dragon said that it could talk to humans because it was an ancient dragon. Hearing his very cute voice made Hiram wonder if the dragon was still young. The dragon claimed that he was only 600 years old. It turns out that the dragon is quite strong for a young dragon. Again, the dragon invited Hiram to take his treasure, but Hiram came there not for that. The giant dragon continued to loudly give himself up to be killed, and even told Hiram to take his fangs and scales if Hiram wanted it. Seeing the young dragon's behavior and brave attitude, Hiram liked it, and thought about deciding to be friends with the big dragon. Hiram then asked about his name. The dragon was stunned for a moment, and said his name, Naga Jorm, the burning fire dragon, Naga Jorm. Even Jorm Dragon said his name with fiery passion. Hearing his name made Hiram wonder if Dragon Jorm had ever won a fight with someone who had two names. Because for a 600-year-old dragon, it is an extraordinary thing to have two names. Naga Jorm then looked at him with annoyance, but suddenly, Naga Jorm wagged his tail as a sign that Naga Jorm liked Hiram, who rightly said about his. Naga Jorm was amazed that Hiram was insightful enough for a human. Then Naga Jorm asked about Hiram San's name. Hiram San mentioned that his name was Hiram San. Hearing Hiram San's confession, Naga Jorm was immediately shocked because what Naga Jorm knew so far was that Hiram San was the demon king who had killed the legendary demon god. Hiram San explained that it was indeed Hiram San, while thinking Naga Jorm then realized that Hiram San's body was now a reincarnated body. Then asked Hiram so Hiram San had cast reincarnation magic before he died? Because this was very hard to believe. But Naga Jorm felt that this was not too strange for a demon king to do. Hiram then asked if Naga Jorm had known her all this time. With annoyance, Naga Jorm then said that of course, Naga Jorm knew him because the demon king Hiram San was the first person in history to be able to fight equally against the demon god. Even the king's name was famous among the key dragons. It was also the key dragons who gave Hiram San his second name, the legendary demon god slayer, Demon King Hiram San. Naga Jorm realized that the reason why her father told Naga Jorm to stay for about 500 years after Naga Jorm had always been with her father. Nagajorm revealed that indeed Hiram-san's face now looked similar to the Demon King Hiram-san, whom Nagajorm had met in the past. Nagajorm revealed that he was the son of Naga Jormungand, who when Nagajorm was a child often met the Demon King Hiram along with his father Naga Jormungand, who was the king of legendary ancient dragons. Naga Jormungand is an ancient dragon who became Hiram-san's subordinate after Hiram-san won the battle against Naga Jormungand in his previous life. Hiram also recognized that of all the ancient dragons Hiram had fought in his previous life, Jormungand dragon was the strongest among them. Hiram even felt that Naga Jormungand was more like a close friend than a subordinate, even an advisor, because it had wisdom that was not possessed by other creatures. It was clear that Dragon Jormungand was a 1,000-year-old dragon who was very powerful and gave Hiram a lot of advice at that time. Hiram really did not expect that Jormungand dragon told his son to guard this place during his reincarnation in the past 500 years. And Hiram remembered that it was indeed Naga Jormungand who gave him the suggestion to incarnate into a human, which even Hiram thought the risk was too high at that time. Because reincarnation is a very difficult magic and has a low success rate, and changing a person also reduces the chances of success, so Hiram decided to stay incarnated as a demon at that time. But after receiving divine punishment and experiencing critical and dying, Hiram changed the magic for them, because he became another race not as a demon, and Hiram realized that the reason Hiram chose to become a human was also because of the advice of the Jormungand dragon. Hiram-san then returned to discuss what Nagajorm mentioned about Hiram-san's second name, the legendary demon god killer, even though the one who was killed at that time was Hiram-san. Then Nagajorm Stone learned that Hiram was the first to be killed. Hiram-san again critical of what Nagajorm said and asked what Nagajorm meant. Nagajorm then revealed that the side effects of using divine punishment not only destroyed the demon god's physical body, but also made his spiritual body almost die. Hiram, who heard that, was stunned, and then became even more curious by screaming and asking about it. Nagajorm then continued that divine punishment is an attack that uses the concept of divine existence. So it is a powerful attack, but it also has huge side effects such as reversing the concept of existence into something noisy. So there is a possibility that the attack could damage the existence as well. Then Hiram-san asked if a demon god could use divine judgment on humans. Nagajorm replied that of course it couldn't be done because the council's blessing, similar to a necklace for humans who didn't receive the divine judgment, God's blessing would have no effect at all. Hiram was even more curious and asked about what happened after that to the demon god. Nagajorm revealed that previously his father had said that the demon god could not help but make a cocoon and lock himself away somewhere because the concept of existence had been broken, making his existence almost disappear. So the demon god could not return to the divine realm. Hiram felt helped by the explanation of the demon god, who was now somewhere in this world. Hiram then asked why Nagajorm suddenly leaned her chin on the ground. Nagajorm then revealed that Kokoro felt that being killed by my mother Gendari fighting with the demon god was not at all a shameful thing to eat. Hiram was happy that Hiram was the last person Nagajorm fought. Then Nagajorm asked about what would happen to him after this. Hiram then revealed and praised Nagajorm that she was indeed a very strong dragon. Even Hiram could not lie about it. Nagajorm then bowed and thanked Hiram because it was an honor for him. Then Nagajorm asked Hiram if Hiram could meet with his father to tell him that Nagajorm had fought so bravely, and again, gave himself up to be killed. Hiram-san smiled and opened his hands as he said and asked Nagajorm to serve him to help Hiram-san conquer this world. Hiram-san was determined that this time he would not only kill the demon god, but more than that. That is to conquer the world. Hearing Hiram-san's seriousness, Nagajorm then immediately bowed and saluted Hiram-san with all the honor of an ancient dragon, and his entire life would serve His Majesty Hiram-san. Hiram then activated his magic and directed it towards Nagajorm. Instantly, the Jorm dragon's body that had previously almost filled the cave turned into a very cute small dragon. Nagajorm then immediately climbed onto Hiram-san's shoulders and said that among the key dragons, he was the greatest. Then Nagajorm asked Hiram-san about what Nagajorm should do now. Hiram-san revealed that for now, Hiram-san was also not about the answer to that question, because they could not start before finding where the demon god was hiding in this world. Nagajorm then told Hiram-san to use the treasure that Nagajorm had been storing in the cave. Hiram-san doubted the offer, because all this time Hiram-san thought collecting treasures and precious objects was an important hobby for a dragon. But Nagajorm did not question that, and was not even particularly interested in collecting treasure. Nagajorm also revealed that after all the gold and ingots that were there were inherited from Hiram-san. Instantly Hiram-san remembered that at that time Hiram-san told the location of the treasure to Naga Jormungand. The two of them then headed to the place where the treasure was kept. It turned out to be a mountain of gold coins and glittering gold objects of fantastic value. Hiram-san didn't think that this had all been collected by Nagajorm, but Nagajorm denied it and said that what Nagajorm had collected was only a small mountain containing some useless junk items. Hiram-san, with a flat face, thought it turned out that dragons also had different tastes. Nagajorm also added that even though the rest there were Nagajormungand items, her father said shortly before leaving Nagajorm and disappearing that interesting things would happen and Nagajorm would understand how this treasure was used. And Hiram-san was sure that the interesting thing was meeting Hiram-san, and now Hiram-san also knew how this treasure would be used. Hearing that Hiram-san thought that in order to protect the place, Nagajormungand told Nagajorm's baseball son to make a nest and leave all the treasures here before leaving. And now Hiram-san was even curious about what Nagajormungand was doing now, so that Nagajorm would meet Nagajormungand one day. Nagajorm then flew to a mountain and took a large pendant necklace by saying that before his father disappeared, Nagajorm was asked to keep his things, especially the necklace that Nagajorm was carrying. When he saw the necklace, Hiram-san was shocked and asked for it, because it was a necklace that Hiram-san gave as a talisman for his adopted daughter Vilvi. It turned out that Hiram-san used to carry it around with him in her past life, and the necklace was a magic tool that could make Hiram-san quickly find Vilvi if Vilvi got lost. The color that it glows and changes based on which amount the holder has, so it can be used to check which amount the person wearing the necklace has. Vilvi is Hiram-san's adopted daughter. She's a little girl of the demon race who has tremendous potential in her talent. They had more sirs as well as a longer time span, so it wasn't strange that Vilvi was still alive now. Hiram-san continued to look at the necklace, already realizing that it was shimmering with blue, which meant Vilvi was still alive. But the part that showed her location was too faint to know, so Hiram-san was very curious as to why it was like that. Hiram-san then asked Nagajorm if Nagajormungand had ever told Nagajorm about Vilvi. But Nagajorm said that his father had never told him anything about Vilvi. Seeing Hiram-san's gloomy face, Nagajorm then asked if Hiram-san felt sad about it. Hiram-san, while holding the necklace, then got up and said that Hiram-san was fine, because even if Hiram-san couldn't find the location, Hiram-san was already happy to know that Vilvi was still alive. Hiram-san then looked at Nagajorm and invited Nagajorm to find Vilvi and the demon god. They were both excited to start their new adventure. Among these treasures was a magic bag called a magic bag. Despite its ugly appearance, the magic bag had space inside, which was why no matter how much Hiram-san put into it, the weight of the bag wouldn't change, so Hiram-san could put all of Nagajormungand's treasures inside the bag. After retrieving all the treasures, Hiram-san and the Yorm dragons came out of the cave and gazed into the wild and prepared to go on a world-conquering adventure. Hiram-san and Nagajorm continued down the mountain area until they reached a path that was only a straight path, and they would soon reach the human village. Hiram-san then asked Nagajorm if Nagajorm knew who controlled the area around there. Nagajorm then revealed that after Hiram-san died, many rumors spread that the kingdom was divided, and war began. Before Nagajorm finished speaking, Hiram-san was suddenly surprised to see an orc walking in front of them while carrying a mace with clothes made of animal fur. Nagajorm felt that it was too big for an orc. Hiram-san explained that it was an orc king. Nagajorm wondered why the orc was just standing in the middle of the road without doing anything. Hiram-san then frantically covered his head with her cloak and told Nagajorm to keep watch and hide when they walked forward. But suddenly, Hiram-san was shocked because someone ran boldly towards the Orc King while brandishing his sword. It turned out that the person was the elf girl Lumiel Ortville, who loudly told the Orc King that Lumiel had come there to take his life. Hiram-san was surprised to see Lumiel. With Hiram-san's attitude that seemed to know her, Nagajorm then asked if Hiram-san knew the elf girl. Hiram-san explained that they met at the initial place where Hiram-san woke up, where Lumiel said she wanted to defeat Nagajorm with courage and high confidence. Lumiel then immediately attacked the orc with her sword. Even their fight is balanced. Nagajorm said that elves are heroes, but Lumiel seems to be a beginner. But even so, Lumiel looks quite adept at swordplay. Hearing what Nagajorm said, Hiram-san understood why Lumiel could break the seal made by a demon king. Nagajorm then suggested to kill Lumiel immediately, because it could be an obstacle for them in the future. Meanwhile, Lumiel continued to fight with the Orc King, who was so strong that it broke Lumiel's sword. Lumiel was very surprised how her precious sword could be broken just like that. But Hiram-san, who knew that the sword was not a valuable sword, thought Lumiel had been deceived because of her carelessness. Lumiel was still determined to attack the Orc King with the bluntness of his broken sword. Of course, the sword couldn't hurt the Orc, and made Lumiel fall away from the direct attack of the Orc King's fist. That's because heroes can't use normal magic at all, but they can actually use innate magic. It's just that Lumiel hasn't realized that he is a hero, and doesn't know how to use that innate magic. Until when Lumiel lay weak, the Orc King immediately relaunched his attack by slamming his giant mace towards Lumiel. Seeing the hero's situation cornered and on the verge of death, Hiram-san immediately nimbled towards Lumiel and withstood the mace attack from the Orc King until it made the mace that Hiram-san was holding crack due to its defensive capabilities. Then very quickly, Hiram-san's hand shot straight towards the Orc's chest and pulled his heart out. The Orc King died instantly. Hiram-san told Lumiel that if she couldn't use magic, at least prepare a good sword that could be used anyway, because the previous sword was too bad for Lumiel-chan. Lumiel-chan was just stunned and amazed at Hiram-san's extraordinary abilities. Lumiel-chan continued to thank Hiram-san and praised her strength, which Hiram-san must have gotten from practicing so hard. Hiram-san gave her hand and lifted the slumped Lumiel-chan while saying that Hiram-san had saved her life. So this time, Lumiel-chan owed Hiram-san a favor. Hiram-san then said that in return, how about Lumiel-chan teach and tell Hiram-san about the kingdom's information and customs in this era? Since Hiram-san had lived in the mountains since she was born, Lumiel-chan happily replied that Lumiel-chan would be happy to teach Hiram-san anything. As they continued to talk, Hiram-san suddenly noticed the presence of several people in the forest. It turned out to be a herd of creepy orcs that had surrounded them. Hiram-san then asked about the problem that made Lumiel-chan so hated by the orcs. Lumiel-chan revealed that Lumiel-chan had never done anything. It was just that on her way to the conquest of dragons, Lumiel-chan at that time received a distress call from the merchants, who said that they could not pass because there was an Orc King blocking their way. So, it was possible that the merchants were still around to make Lumiel-chan worry about them. Hearing that, Hiram-san then told Lumiel-chan to meet the merchants and leave the rest and the orc problem to Hiram-san. Hiram-san then gave Lumiel-chan a look and said that Hiram-san was sure it would be difficult to protect the merchants where a sword was, and told Lumiel-chan not to worry about it because, as Lumiel-chan had seen before, there was no problem when Hiram-san faced the Orc King. Lumiel-chan then thanked Hiram-san and immediately ran to find the merchants. Hiram-san apologized to Nagajorm for giving the sword without Nagajorm's permission first, but Nagajorm did not mind because Nagajorm had also given the treasure to Hiram-san completely. Now the orc swarm looked very angry and ran towards Hiram-san and Nagajorm. Hiram-san then closed his eyes and counted the number of orcs. The astonished Nagajorm continued to watch Hiram-san, who was now releasing a magic ball slowly from her palm. It was the magic bullet magic ability. When the 104 orcs had surrounded Hiram-san, Hiram-san immediately fired 104 shots of his magic to make the orcs explode one by one and disintegrate instantly. The power was so extraordinary that it made Nagajorm gape speechless at Hiram-san's powerful magic. When Nagajorm praised that power, Hiram-san, while looking at the forest, which was now bare and barren due to his power, explained to Nagajorm that what was just basic magic. After wiping out the orcs in seconds, Hiram-san and Nagajorm immediately rushed after Lumiel to get important information from her about life in this new world. Meanwhile, now Lumiel, who continued to kill the orcs to protect the merchants, very guerrilla, using Hiram-san's sword to kill the orcs very easily. But when Lumiel had finished off the orcs, suddenly, her back was pierced by an arrow from behind, which was none other than the attack of the stupid merchants. Lumiel stumbled while resting on her sword, not expecting the person she was saving to attack and intend to kill her. The merchants continued to laugh and said that Lumiel was a stupid girl who didn't realize she was being cheated. They even intended to sell Lumiel while stepping on her. They continued to laugh and wanted to take her sword and do obscene things to an elf princess as beautiful as Lumiel. The helpless Lumiel kept asking why they were doing this. One of them reached up to her face and pointed the dagger at Lumiel's cheek, while saying that this was all done, of course, for money, and sheer pleasure, because it felt thrilling to make someone who didn't know hardship like Lumiel Chan fall into despair. While continuing to blaspheme Lumiel Chan and brandishing her dagger, suddenly Hiram San and Naga Jorm came over to tell them to stop doing that to Lumiel. They all looked upset and curious about who Hiram San really was. Hiram San, with a small smile, said that he was just an ordinary human who was passing by and walking around there. Then one of them told the others to catch Hiram San, who looked like a weak human, so they would sell her as a slave. Hiram San kept walking and smiling at the smart-looking boss. Then suddenly, Hiram San swiftly threw a fist at the stupid merchant boss's face, causing his face to crumble inward. Seeing his boss being beaten so easily, the three members of the stupid merchant immediately ran towards Hiram San to attack him. However, of course, their foolish actions only brought them into the circle of death. After defeating them, Hiram San immediately approached Lumiel, who was lying helpless, and said that her condition was now safe. While giving her robe to Lumiel Chan, Hiram San touched her forehead and used his magic to heal Lumiel Chan's wounds using a healing technique. Instantly, a light came out of Lumiel Chan's body, and at that moment, Lumiel Chan thanked her while saying that she felt better. But suddenly, Lumiel Chan fell unconscious afterwards. Hiram San thought it was because of this that the healing and medicinal magic was too strong. Naga Jorm then added that Hiram San was bad at using healing magic when Hiram San was a demon in her previous life. But now Hiram San was a human, so Naga Jorm was sure of that. Hiram San thought that Hiram San should be careful in using it. Hiram San then woke up and said that they had to settle all this first, before they went to the new city. Hiram San went back to the herd of stupid merchants and kept babbling, asking Hiram San why Hiram San was helping elves since they were supposed to be partners of the same human race. Hiram San, who took the bag and checked the contents of the bag, then asked if the merchant also previously intended to sell Hiram San as a slave. Then when Hiram San opened the bag and found something, it turned out to be a magic tool to summon the orcs. And it was his boss who brought this magic tool to avoid the monsters. They carried magic tools in their bags to summon and use magic tools to protect them. Seeing all these events made Hiram San understand that the orc attacks this time were all traps to kill Lumiel Chan. Even the merchants were involved in it. Hiram San was sure they were just disguised as ordinary people, because at first it wasn't normal for an orc king to stand for a long time in the middle of the street. Even when they suddenly appeared and started attacking Hiram San and the others. So if Hiram San hadn't stopped the orcs, Hiram San was sure the orcs would have beaten the bandit merchant first instead of the elf princess Lumiel Chan. Hiram San continued to pay attention to the tool, and it turned out that the tool carried was a powerful magic tool that was not even something that bandits like them could possess. Hiram San suspected that a powerful wizard who could command the orcs was behind this incident, and that witch seemed to have a mission to kill Lumiel Chan. Hiram San then stepped on the head of the bandit merchant boss and asked about who had ordered them to do this. Hiram San continued to force the bandit to talk by sitting on his back and breaking the bandit boss's fingers one by one to confess and tell who was behind this plan. But the bandit was completely clueless and didn't know until all his fingers were broken, and still the bandit didn't give Hiram San any information. Naga Jorm asked if it was possible that the bandit really didn't know anything. Hiram San threw away the broken hand, saying that maybe they didn't know anything, so there was no point in staying there. They should go to the city to get information. Hiram San immediately got up and walked over to the unconscious Lumiel Chan and carried her. Naga Jorm then asked if it was okay to leave the bandits in an alarming condition. But Hiram San again reminded Naga Jorm of the orc repellent and summoning device that was still near the bandits. So only their luck could tell whether they would survive or not. The bandit boss crawled to reach the orc repellent device, but when the bandit boss noticed the glass reflection of the orc repellent device, the bandit boss saw the orcs already behind with a flock of horrible orc faces. Sure enough, the orcs killed them instantly, sending Lara birds flying in panic from the trees. Hiram San is now carrying Lumiel Chan, who is still unconscious, through the forest with Naga Jorm towards the city. Until finally, Lumiel Chan then regained consciousness and was surprised to find herself being carried by Hiram San, then immediately got off and said that now Lumiel Chan could walk. But Hiram San was still worried about her after the fight against the orcs and was attacked by bandits. Lumiel Chan then thanked Hiram San for his help and the precious sword. But Hiram San told Lumiel Chan to better keep it because Lumiel Chan had also used it well. Lumiel-chan then reluctantly refused Hiram-san's gift because the sword was too precious. Hiram-san then said that if that was the case, Lumiel-chan could return it when they got to the city. Lumiel-chan smiled, but thought back to the previous merchants. While looking flatly at Lumiel-chan's face full of worry, Hiram-san said that they were not merchants, but bandits. So Hiram-san left them who might have been eaten by the orcs nearby. Hiram-san looked at Lumiel-chan, who looked worried about the bandits. It turned out that the instincts of a good hero were true. Hiram-san then said that if indeed Lumiel-chan was curious about their whereabouts, after arriving in the city, Lumiel-chan could gather people to go back and look for the bandits, because to bring the bandits now was very unlikely, because they were only 3 with the cute dragon Jorm. Lumiel-chan looked down and recalled that Lumiel-chan's previous mission was to defeat the ancient dragon on the mountain. Jorm Dragon looks wary while showing his fangs, and thinks that no matter if Lumiel-chan is a hero, Jorm Dragon will be able to defeat her. Hiram-san then smiled, remembering what Lumiel-chan had said when they first met, and revealed to Lumiel-chan that Hiram-san had spoken to the ancient dragon and told it to come down from the mountain, so Lumiel-chan no longer had to worry about it. Lumiel-chan gaped at the thought of how a human could speak to and tell a legendary ancient dragon to come down so easily. Hiram-san, who saw Lumiel-chan's questioning expression, then told her to check for herself when they got to the city, because Lumiel-chan needed proof to provide the results of the request that Lumiel-chan received. Lumiel-chan was anxious and just nodded at what Hiram-san said, and Hiram-san suggested how about sending someone else to confirm it when they got to the city later. Lumiel-chan nodded with a smile at Hiram-san's words. While walking, Hiram-san then asked Lumiel-chan about this country according to Lumiel-chan's previous promise. Lumiel-chan then revealed that this country was called Ortevild Kingdom. Hearing that name made Hiram-san remember Lumiel-chan's last name, which is her family name. It turned out to be true that Lumiel-chan was the first daughter of the king of the Ortevild Kingdom, so it was only fitting that at that time the bandits had mentioned Lumiel-chan as a princess and set up the traps because they knew that Lumiel-chan was the king's first daughter. Hiram-san became even more curious and asked Lumiel-chan to tell her more about this country. The land of Ortevild is a large land built after the unification of the continent 100 years ago. The founding king of the Ortevild Kingdom was an elf. Since then, the rules of social status according to race have been ranked with elves being the highest, followed by busmen, dwarves, and others. Up to the lowest class, the human race. Elves always oppressed humanity, and Lumiel-chan was also part of the elven nobility. The bandits probably hated Lumiel-chan too much, which is why they did such things. While walking, Hiram-san saw Lumiel-chan stop, and suddenly Lumiel-chan asked if she couldn't be forgiven. Hiram-san then asked if Lumiel-chan had previously oppressed humans? Lumiel-chan answered anxiously and unsure. Because all this time Lumiel-chan was part of the royal family, now Lumiel-chan feels responsible for all the oppression carried out by the elves so far, even though Lumiel-chan knows her capacity cannot do much to overcome it. Hiram-san then advised Lumiel-chan to fight so that others could emulate her who did not participate in discriminating against the weak. But Lumiel-chan felt that she was helpless. Hiram-san brought her face closer and looked at Lumiel-chan while saying that if it was like that, Hiram-san had no reason to hate her, because basically, everything in this world has good things and bad things, as well as elves and humans who both have their own evil ones. For example, the bandits. Lumiel-chan continued to stare at Hiram-san's handsome face until her cheeks turned red, and then thanked Hiram-san. They continued through the forest and walked down the road to the city. Hiram-san then asked about the demon country so far. Lumiel-chan then revealed that what Lumiel-chan knew was that a demon country did exist, with a king who ruled on a continent quite far from this country. Hiram-san asked that because previously Lumiel-chan also did not mention the social status of demons in this country. But apparently there are only a few demon races in the land of Ortevild. Lumiel-chan recounted that around 200 to 300 years ago, there was a war between elves and demons. The demons were very strong, and the elves suffered and lost a lot in the war. Then somehow the demons were finally expelled from this continent, and for the elves, it was called a holy war to reclaim the continent they were now on. While hearing some of the people greeting Lumiel-chan, who kept waving her hand, Hiram-san now understood about this new land. They continued walking until they were nearing the city center. Lumiel-chan asked if Hiram-san knew where he was going to live so far. Hiram-san just smiled and said that he hadn't even thought about it after just coming down from the mountain. Lumiel-chan approached Hiram-san and offered Hiram-san to stay at her residence. Lumiel-chan also revealed that they would prepare 3 meals a day, a bath, and a warm bed. Hiram-san smiled and agreed to her offer. Hiram-san then said that he wanted to introduce Lumiel-chan to someone and sent Naga-jorm out to show himself to Lumiel-chan. Lumiel-chan was surprised and seemed very happy to see the dragon shaped like a baby dragon. They continued chatting while petting the Jorm dragon's head and walked towards the city gate. Lumiel-chan revealed that after this, they would arrive at her residence in 5 minutes. Hiram-san continued to stare at the huge city gate fortress. As they entered the gate, everyone greeted the princess who had just arrived from the mountain to conquer the dragon. Even those from all walks of social status began to crowd around the royal princess. Lumiel-chan then apologized to her people for causing them so much trouble, and told everyone that it was Hiram-san who had asked the ancient dragon to leave the mountain. As Hiram-san passed by the suspicious guards, suddenly everyone began to crowd around Hiram-san and praised him for saving the princess, causing Hiram-san to be pushed back as the people continued to approach Hiram-san. 30 minutes later, enough to make it out of the crowd to make her exhausted, and thought it seemed that Lumiel-chan was loved by the human population there, but no one from the Night Order came to greet her. They then continued walking until they came to a sizable house that was the residence of Lumiel-chan. Lumiel-chan revealed that the house was the one Lumiel-chan got when Lumiel-chan was appointed captain of the Order of Knights. They then entered the courtyard and were greeted by some very beautiful ministries. Lumiel-chan invited Hiram-san to enter and told him to make himself at home and offered Hiram-san to have dinner together as the dishes were ready. Seeing all the luxurious and plentiful dishes made Naga-jorm fly up and devour the food eagerly, even to the point of making him exhausted eating all the food. Afterwards, Hiram-san and Lumiel-chan had a relaxing time drinking tea and talking. Lumiel-chan asked why Hiram-san was good at performing healing magic, even though Hiram-san was human. Hiram-san replied that there were actually many reasons. But in short, Hiram-san felt that it was the result of his battle experience and training over the years. Hiram-san then asked if Lumiel-chan was worried because she couldn't use magic. Lumiel-chan was surprised how Hiram-san could know that. Hiram-san revealed that Hiram-san knew that because it was very rare for an elf to have broken her sword but not be able to use magic. Lumiel-chan bowed in silence and then said Bobo that he couldn't use magic. Lumiel-chan entered the army because of his royal duty and became the 3rd captain of the Order of Knights. But the order did not listen to Lumiel-chan because Lumiel-chan could not use magic. It was a problem for a knight captain. Lumiel-chan felt that she had disgraced the royal family, and even Lumiel-chan was also called an incompetent princess. Hearing that Hiram-san thought that was why Lumiel-chan had the determination to conquer the ancient dragon alone. Lumiel-chan then immediately stood up and asked Hiram-san to teach her to use magic. Hiram-san was shocked and wondered why it had to be him. Lumiel-chan then revealed that even though Hiram-san was the worst human race at using magic, the healing magic Hiram-san used was the strongest of all the elven magic Lumiel-chan had ever seen before, which was why Lumiel-chan respected Hiram-san so much. Hearing that, Naga-jorm, who was shocked, asked Hiram-san not to do it because the girl was a hero, making Naga-jorm limp and fall unconscious on the table. But Hiram-san thought that this was quite interesting. Then Hiram-san told Lumiel-chan that if Lumiel-chan wanted to ask Hiram-san to do that, then Hiram-san would speak frankly, even though Lumiel-chan might not believe it. Hiram-san revealed that she was not an ordinary person. The fact that Hiram-san practiced a lot wasn't a lie, but it wasn't a story in her current life. Lumiel-chan really didn't understand what Hiram-san was saying. Hiram-san then looked at Lumiel-chan with a serious gaze and said that she was a berry person, because the one from a demon in her previous life, Hiram-san also revealed that he was a demon king at that time. Then asked Lumiel-chan if Lumiel-chan knew and had heard the name of the demon king Hiram. Lumiel-chan then grimaced and apologized because she didn't know it. Hiram-san, who continued to hold Naga-jorm, who looked very upset, then said that it was okay and it didn't matter if Lumiel-chan didn't know it, because after all it happened 500 years ago. Hiram-san then looked back at Lumiel-chan and said that he was a demon and asked Lumiel-chan if Lumiel-chan didn't mind after knowing that. Lumiel-chan was silent and revealed that what Hiram-san had said before was that if there are evil elves and evil humans, that means there must also be evil demons and good demons. So if Hiram-san is a demon king, then Hiram-san must be someone who is good at using magic. Of course, it would be a perfect teacher for Lumiel-chan. Lumiel-chan continued to smile and looked very happy looking at Hiram-san. Lumiel-chan then lowered her head and lifted her skirt as a sign of respect to Hiram-san, and then said words to beg and ask Hiram-san to teach her magic. Hiram-san smiled and agreed to teach what Hiram-san could to Lumiel-chan. Lumiel-chan looked very happy and immediately grabbed Hiram-san's hand and called him master, but Hiram-san refused and told Lumiel-chan to call him Hiram instead, because it's too prominent for a human to be a princess's teacher. They continued to argue about the nickname not far away, noticing a crow outside the window that was watching them. The crow continued to stare and finally left from the tree branch near Lumiel-chan's house, then flew to a cave on the mountain where someone was standing and taking gold coins in the cave. The raven then landed on the shoulder of the person who seemed to have horns and was dressed quite strangely. After hearing what the bird said, the man immediately broke the coin he was holding and called Hiram's name while smiling with a mysterious look. That day, Hiram-san was sitting on the corpse of the demon god who had now been destroyed. Then Hiram-san looked very happy because after that, his adopted daughter Shilpi ran towards him. But suddenly Shilpi was stabbed by the demon god in the heart until he died horribly. Hiram-san continued to scream watching her son die so tragically. Hiram-san screamed out of sleep while calling Shilpi's name. It turned out to be a dream. Hiram-san realized the dream and sat brooding on the edge of his bed, while Naga-jorm was still fast asleep in bed. As Hiram-san walked towards the window, Hiram-san found Lumiel-chan practicing with her sword. Hiram-san quickly put on her clothes and told the dragon Jorm to wake up, who now seemed to be enjoying the soft mattress made by the elves that was better than the dragon's sleeping place. Hiram-san and Naga-jorm then went downstairs and enjoyed their breakfast. Not long after, Lumiel-chan, who had just finished her training, came in and greeted Hiram-san at the dining table and asked about what they were going to do today. Hiram-san, who was eating his breakfast, had not even planned anything to do today. Then suddenly the jockey looked at Lumiel-chan and offered Lumiel-chan to learn magic today. Of course, Lumiel-chan was very happy to hear his offer. After finishing their breakfast, they then went down to the courtyard to practice magic together. Hiram-san then explained that there were several things to pay attention to. Hiram-san told them that magic was divided into two types. And Hiram-san revealed that Lumiel-chan could use magic from within her body to a certain extent. Lumiel-chan was stunned and curious about that. Hiram-san said that it was true, because if not, Lumiel-chan would not be able to fight orcs like yesterday in the forest. Lumiel-chan then understood and asked Hiram-san that it meant that Lumiel-chan had the possibility to use magic. While catching a wandering Jorm dragon, Hiram-san revealed that people called the princess Lumiel-chan incompetent because Lumiel-chan could not use magic from outside her body. And of course, it would be difficult to learn everything in just one day. So Hiram-san would tell her about the basics first. Hiram-san then asked Lumiel-chan to measure her hand, and said that the first thing they had to do was to start visualizing the magic in Lumiel-chan's body by channeling Lumiel-chan's magic power through her hand. After that, Hiram-san asked Lumiel-chan to let the magic flow in Lumiel-chan's palm right away. Hiram-san felt that Lumiel-chan's magic power was quite good in terms of both quality and quantity, and that Lumiel-chan was not bad at using it. But because Lumiel-chan had to use special hero magic, the difficulty level of using it was much greater, and Lumiel-chan desperately needed more basic training to improve the quality of her magic. Lumiel-chan continued to try to cast magic until an hour passed, making her body full of sweat and trembling, and feeling exhausted after casting magic from her palm. Hiram-san then told Lumiel-chan to stop their training just enough for today. Lumiel-chan sat down because she was exhausted. While giving her a towel, Hiram-san told Lumiel-chan to practice using her magic every day after lunch or after dinner. Lumiel-chan smiled and was even more excited to hear that. Hiram-san thought that since they still had plenty of time, it would be best to spend today seeing the city for a while. Lumiel-chan very happily offered to accompany Hiram-san to see the city. Because after all, accompanying people to see the city was one of the things that the kingdom had taught Lumiel-chan so far. Hiram-san, however, worried that it would look conspicuous since Lumiel-chan was a princess. But Lumiel-chan didn't mind that because Lumiel-chan would be in disguise. After Hiram-san changed clothes and waited, Lumiel Chan finally came back with a different appearance as a fox demon for her disguise, so that no one would recognize her later. So Lumiel Chan told them to call her by the nickname Lumi, because people would recognize her if called by the name Lumiel. Now they walked to the city center to look around. The city was very crowded where everyone was on the move, but some people still recognized Lumiel Chan. Even the little boy who said to his mother kept pointing at Lumiel Chan. Her mother said that if the princess was looking like that, it meant that the princess didn't want to be noticed. Lumiel Chan then stopped by a bakery where Hiram-san approached her and said that the elf-ruled city was indeed very beautiful. Even that place is also an area where rich people live. Hearing that, Lumiel Chan looked at her with a gloomy face while leaving and said that this city was not like what Hiram-san thought. Hiram-san was silent as she looked at Lumiel Chan, who was so busy looking for some bread. After that, Lumiel Chan took Hiram-san to the slums on the outskirts of the city, and met several children who looked very happy with Lumiel Chan's arrival there, who distributed the bread that had been bought before to them one by one. Hiram-san then noticed a child who looked sick with a bandaged hand, and asked him about the child's condition. Hiram-san touched his hand and used his healing magic to heal the boy's hand instantly. They all looked amazed that Hiram-san was a healer. Meanwhile, a child kept looking at the Yorm dragon on Hiram-san's shoulder while staring and saying that the Yorm dragon was very cute. Hiram-san, who saw the child, instantly remembered Shilpi, who used to say the same thing to the baby Yorm dragon 500 years ago. The children then approached the dragon Yorm and called him a winged lizard. They were even amazed and cheerful to see the flying Yorm comforting them. Lumiel Chan continued to watch Hiram-san very kind to the children. While sitting at the edge of the square and eating bread, Hiram-san revealed that seeing the children reminded him of Shilfi. Lumiel Chan asked about who Shilfi was. Hiram-san explained that Shilfi was a girl that Hiram-san adopted as her daughter in her previous life. The girl was 10 years old when Hiram-san died. Lumiel Chan looked at him and asked if Hiram-san was worried about her. Hiram-san then revealed that, as he had said earlier, that it's been 500 years, and Hiram-san knows that Shilfi is still alive somewhere out there thanks to a magic tool, and maybe even Shilfi is much stronger now after 500 years. Hiram-san revealed that she really wanted to see her again, even if it was just once. After hearing that, some people started coming up to Lumiel Chan and even said they wanted to tell Lumiel Chan something. Lumiel Chan then apologized to the people because Lumiel Chan had to accompany Hiram-san around the city, but Hiram-san didn't mind, and told Lumiel Chan to approach her people. As Hiram-san continued to watch Lumiel Chan from a distance, Jorm came up to her and asked that the heroine was willing to listen to everyone's concerns, but was Lumiel Chan capable of solving everything? Hiram-san continued to stare at her by answering Naga Jorm's question that there was no way Lumiel Chan could solve everyone's problems. Naga Jorm then asked again, wouldn't the people be disappointed if they confided in her and didn't get a solution? Not having time to answer, suddenly an elf and an old beast appeared behind Hiram-san and said that people like the princess were even willing to hear the complaints of people like them who were abandoned by the noble ruler. Hearing this, Hiram-san asked the elf and beast what kind of princess they knew. They revealed that the princess was the one who was willing to go to the poor areas of the city and hear everyone's grievances without insulting them. Even the princess was also the one who brought their problems to the noble lords. All this time, the people also could not ask the nobles for help directly without being imprisoned first. Hiram-san was really worried and upset with the noble lords. The old people then added that the nobles were all not good people because they were former executive officials who bribed the prime minister to become noble rulers, and then asked Hiram-san that he was Hiram-sama the Demon King. It turned out that they realized the presence of Hiram-san, the former legendary Demon King. Then asked Hiram-san to protect God's daughter, because the princess is now being targeted by the annoying prime minister. It was done because now the prime minister is in a bad position. Hiram-san continued to ask about what was meant by a bad position. The old elf and the old beast revealed that the prime minister's daughter married the king and gave birth to the first prince. And the prime minister wants the first prince to become the king, no matter what. Therefore, the princess who is popular among the people and other races can be an obstacle. The prime minister has reduced the princess's power by influencing the knights. The reason the princess moved here is also because of the prime minister's faction. The prime minister's faction has also seized power in the royal palace. The king's power has weakened, and he's almost become a puppet king. Hiram-san continued to think about it, and the point is that Lumiel-chan has no allies from the knighthood or the royal court. But even so, Lumiel-chan continued to smile and do her best for all the people. Even everyone in the city is grateful for what she has done so far for them. The old elf then bowed and begged Hiram-san to protect their princess god. Hiram-san smiled and agreed, and said that Hiram-san would do whatever Hiram-san could, since the princess lord didn't have any reliable allies anyway. The next day, Lumiel-chan and Hiram-san practiced again to increase the magic power of Lumiel-chan, who was now able to release a magic ball from her palm. But while trying hard, Hiram-san stopped her training and thought that, as expected, Lumiel-chan's unusual increase in ability exceeded among the heroes. Lumiel-chan then sat back down and drank the refreshing drink brought by the servants along with Yorm. Jorm enjoyed the drink so much that he slipped up talking, which made Lumiel-chan surprised to hear a talking dragon. Hiram-san then explained to Lumiel-chan that the Jorm dragon was an ancient dragon that Lumiel-chan had previously wanted to conquer during their first conversation at the mountain temple where Hiram had risen. So Hiram-san thought a talking dragon would scare the citizens, so Hiram-san asked Naga Jorm to hide it. Lumiel-chan really didn't expect that Naga Jorm was an ancient country. Hiram-san then confirmed it and said that it was true that Naga Jorm was an ancient dragon and hoped they could get along. Lumiel-chan smiled and continued to stroke Naga Jorm's head, then said that they became friends after this. Naga Jorm made a flat face while his face was stroked by Lumiel-chan. After the training, Hiram-san and Naga Jorm now left the house to go back to the city. When they got there, some people were noisy and crowded where two children were seen being bullied by the bodyguards who told them to leave while kicking them like a lowly animal. Hiram-san, who saw that, immediately quickly crashed into the heads of the two bodyguards until they hit the wall and even got the two stupid bodyguards stuck there. Then Hiram-san asked the children about what happened. The two children frantically said that the road was blocked and they couldn't run away from the monsters. It turned out that there were monsters on the city bridge. Even now, the monsters kept coming into the city. Hiram-san then immediately ran and asked them to go take Hiram-san there. Hiram-san and Dragon Jorm and the two children together ran to the bridge to see what the situation was. They all ran and saw that the orc monsters had entered the gate that was closed by the elven nobles. The humans panicked and told the guards to open the gate, or else they would be eaten by the monsters. Someone came with his crown while smiling haughtily said not to open the gate, because anyway, if this is allowed, more and more humans will be born. Everyone looked at the barbaric elf. It turned out that he was the feudal king. The feudal king continued to laugh and said that those lowly humans were worthless compared to him and the other elves. But suddenly the guards behind him were seen being beaten by someone. It turned out to be Hiram-san, and also Jorm, who had arrived while smashing the heads of the bodyguards. Hiram-san said that if indeed the feudal king did not want to protect his people, then the feudal king should just quit his post and learn a little from Lumiel-chan. The guards, who were angry that the feudal king had been insulted, immediately attacked Hiram-san simultaneously. But of course, Hiram-san was able to defeat them with only his bare hands in a few seconds. Hiram-san then ran towards the feudal king, who took out his magic wand and directed its power into the sky to create a terrible black cloud. Then the feudal king pointed his magic stone wand at Hiram-san. The magic power was immense, but of course it was not difficult for Hiram-san to overcome it. Hiram-san even obliterated it with just one hand, leaving the feudal king shocked. Hiram-san quickly grabbed the feudal king's neck and said that if the feudal king had magic power, he should have fought with the knights. But again, the feudal king arrogantly refused because he was a nobleman who would not fight just for the sake of lowly humans. Hiram-san, who was disgusted to hear that, immediately threw feudal outside the gate to fall right in front of the huge and terrible orc king. Hiram-san then asked the knights if they had no intention of helping the stupid feudal king. They were silent and did not dare to do so. Hiram-san then said that he would save the feudal king, just as Lumiel-chan was coming to help. But again, the knights underestimated him, until finally Hiram-san immediately grabbed the iron gate and destroyed it to escape the frightened people. Now Hiram-san and also Lumiel-chan are ready to fight against the orc king. Lumiel-chan then walked towards the orc king, who noticed and immediately attacked Lumiel-chan with his big fist. Their fight was evenly matched as Lumiel-chan kept dodging the orc king's deadly attacks. After withstanding the orc king's attack several times, Lumiel-chan then gripped her sword tightly and tried to remember and imagine to flow magic in her body and sword. At that instant, with increased strength, Lumiel Chan nimbly ran towards the Orc King, who was also preparing to attack her. With her small body, Lumiel Chan nimbly dodged the attack and slashed straight at the Orc King's leg, causing him to almost fall down. Seeing the condition of the giant Orc King, who was getting out of control, Lumiel Chan immediately took advantage of this opportunity by jumping up and slashing the head of the huge and powerful Orc King again until it was cut off. Lumiel Chan really managed to defeat the Orc King with just that short fight. Lumiel Chan smiled and ran towards Hiram-san with a very happy face because of her success. Hiram-san said that Lumiel Chan had gotten much stronger since the last time Hiram-san met Lumiel Chan, even though Hiram-san hadn't taught her anything very seriously so far. But Lumiel Chan was still grateful because it was all thanks to Hiram-san's teachings. The children immediately approached and surrounded Lumiel Chan and thanked them. But Hiram-san told them to stop, because it wasn't over yet. They were again surprised by a dark magic circle that appeared from the orc's back. Suddenly, a giant demon dragon came out of the magic circle. What will happen? A terrifying giant dragon came out of the magic circle to destroy the ground and cause tremendous damage. It turned out to be a giant zombie dragon that was the corpse of a dead dragon whose soul had been forcibly restrained. Hiram-san then asked Jorm if Jorm knew him. Of course, Jorm didn't know her. Lumiel Chan then walked to face the zombie dragon. Hiram-san asked if Lumiel Chan was sure she could fight it. Lumiel Chan confidently grabbed her sword and asked Hiram-san to leave the matter to her. Now Lumiel Chan walked to face the giant zombie dragon in front of her. The zombie dragon continued to screech and scream, frightening all the children. Hiram-san immediately protects them. Lumiel Chan, who now has more strength than before, immediately jumped and slashed the zombie dragon's neck with her sword. But it didn't seem to work where the zombie dragon was still agile, and moved to attack Lumiel Chan, who continued to avoid it. Until when Lumiel Chan prepared to attack again, the dragon released an attack from its mouth towards Lumiel Chan, who jumped with her sword towards the zombie dragon's head. The attack hit Lumiel Chan to make everyone worried. But the strong Lumiel Chan was able to ward off the zombie dragon's fire attack, and managed to jump and cut the zombie dragon's lower mouth off. The zombie dragon is now getting angry by continuing to attack using its fire gusts. But the great Lumiel Chan was able to withstand it using only his sword. Even the hard dragon scales felt like paper to a hero. Hiram-san continued to watch the fierce battle, until finally the zombie dragon managed to throw Lumiel Chan until it bounced off the roof, making children scream his name. Hearing that scream, the zombie dragon immediately turned his eyes to the children and issued an attack to kill them. Lumiel Chan, who managed to survive on the roof, immediately screamed, telling them to get out of there. But it was too late. The dragon was too close, and his attack would immediately scorch the children. But suddenly, the attack was absorbed by the glowing magic circle that protected the children from the zombie dragon's gusts. It was Hiram-san's magic technique that then returned the zombie dragon's blowing fire and tied the fire to the zombie dragon's neck, which continued to screech in pain. Until finally the zombie dragon fell, and at the right time this was Lumiel Chan's opportunity to jump and cut the giant zombie dragon's neck to break. Lumiel Chan is really great at defeating terrible zombie dragons. Hiram-san praised Lumiel Chan for showing such great skills. Lumiel Chan smiled and thanked Hiram-san, then got a hug from the little boy who ran up to her. The children also thanked Hiram-san for protecting them. All the people looked happy for the rescue done by Lumiel Chan and Hiram-san. Hiram-san, who kept looking at Lumiel Chan, thought that this was all another trap set up to attack the princess. The person who devised this plan already knew that the princess hero Lumiel Chan would come to defeat the Orc King. Then after that, the undead dragon appeared, which meant that the enemy had devised this evil plan to harm the princess. Hiram-san then combed through the rubble to see the state of the feudal king, who now looked like a depressed person. The feudal king looked terrified and kept screaming. Hiram-san felt that all of this was quite suspicious. Then Hiram-san activated the power of her eyes and saw a demonic shadow hugging the feudal king's body. It turned out to be a curse to silence the feudal king. And of course, this curse seemed to be given by a demon. Hiram-san then took Jorm away to leave the feudal king, who would not give them any information. The next day, Lumiel Chan happily presented a letter from the king of the country, inviting Hiram-san to the imperial capital. Hiram-san wondered what the king had invited her for. Lumiel Chan then smiled and sat down, saying that it seemed like the invitation was because His Majesty had recognized Hiram-san's success. so the king wanted to give Hiram-san a gift. Hiram-san felt that she hadn't even done anything great. After all, the invitation was too soon, even though it was only yesterday that they defeated the zombie dragon. But suddenly, Hiram-san thought there seemed to be something to hide, and changed her mind to accept the invitation from the king, but on the condition that Lumiel-chan must go with her because Hiram-san was worried about Lumiel-chan leaving him. Lumiel-chan happily said that she was also assigned to take Hiram-san, so they would go together. Lumiel-chan then left to get ready. Yorm then said that it seemed like they still had to be vigilant because there might be many people with evil intentions there. Since there were bandits, orc kings, and zombie dragons so far, it was probably all a trap set by the Prime Minister. So Hiram-san was also looking forward to meeting them, whoever it was that had planned this. After drinking tea and the departure train was also ready, Hiram-san and Yorm and Lumiel-chan hurried to go to the capital. Meanwhile, in a dark and ghastly castle filled with ancient dragons flying above, a demoness was sitting on her throne, listening to a report from a subordinate who said that Hiram-san had reincarnated as a human. The light-haired demoness then asked for validation, whether the information that had been conveyed was completely true. All the demons confirmed it. It turned out that the beautiful demon woman sitting on the throne was the same Illimgard demon queen. All the demons were astonished and did not expect that the former demon king Hiram-san chose to reincarnate as a human. One of her subordinates then said that they should kill Hiram-san first and asked Her Majesty Demon Queen Illimgard-sama to leave this task to him.